he is arguably the most important person that's ever lived.
We're going to start off with a watch and react that's a little different. We're not gonna jump into some of the heady politics or anything like that. It's the end of the year. We want you to relax with us. And this trailer just dropped. Yes, I mean it's still serious. It's about
filled, I guess,
a nuclear bomb. So,
well, we got an anti-China segment. So
there we go. So we got
nuclear bomb trailer.
Absolutely,
juxtaposition.
So, is this Christopher Nolan? I guess
it is
doing this, and this is not about time.
It probably will be.
No,
is the bomb going to make them travel back in time?
No, I'm just saying he likes to use
forward
it as a
in
storytelling
time
device. That's all.
Stay in the same time?
Probably.
Let's watch. Ooh. I mean, it's not T2, but we'll take it.
Not yet, anyway.
They won't fear it. Until they understand it.
Deep. There's more.
And they won't understand it. Until they've used it.
There.
What's happening?
Did they blow the sun up?
They did. That was their bad. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, Lane, we had to cut the trailer short. It was 17 hours long because Christopher Nolan makes long movies.
Yeah.
The score is going to be fantastic. Like the soundtrack to that movie, is going to be phenomenal. Christopher Nolan movies typically have pretty epic kind of soundtrack. Hans Zimmer is typically the guy who would love that stuff. But what do you think, Lane?
Well, as far as the movie goes, I think the casting is on point. Cillian Murphy's one of the most underrated actors working. I feel like Matt Damon's going to be in it. Playing General Groves. He plays Leslie Groves, who is the general that was in charge of overseeing the Los Alamos, the Manhattan Project. But as far as making this movie, I'm really happy it's being made because, in my opinion, and this just isn't a hot take, I really believe this, that he is arguably the most important person that's ever lived. I think
Oppenheimer?
Yes. I think he has had more impact on the world than any mortal human that's ever lived.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because the invention of the atomic bomb changed calculation for everything that happened after it.
He's responsible for the protesters who think nuclear suck. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
the environmentalists?
Sure,
basically?
that, but any geopolitical calculation, anything that you think is amazing, like AI or whatever it is, I don't care. It doesn't matter because all of that could be wiped out in half a second because of the discovery that he made. Now you can say somebody would have eventually made that, but that's
that's
the retroactive case for anything.
Yeah.
Can I make a prediction about the movie?
You can.
Yes.
Okay. I think it's going to end with a bang.
So I don't know who predicted Hans Zimmer, but the actual, I guess, composer is Ludwig Göransson.
I don't know.
So
it sounds
German,
Hans
so
Zimmer.
Zimmer,
Göransson, whatever. Just as long as it's awesome. That's all I really care about.
No, I can't wait for this movie. I think it's going to be fantastic.
I think it's going to be awesome. I really want to see the angle because he made a point there that they won't understand it until they use it.
Yes.
Right? And so, I mean, that's a fair point to make because until you do that, you don't understand the ramifications of what you've done. You can kind of game plan that out a little bit and go, okay, yeah, but to your point, it set us on a different course. And maybe they hoped it would.
Yes.
But they didn't necessarily understand exactly how that was going to play out.
Well, for all intents and purposes, the world has been as peaceful as it ever has for the last 75 years since it was tested.
Because mess around and find out?
Yes.
I mean,
you can't. I mean, you use the destructive power once and people seriously have to change considerations.
Listen, sorry, Japan, but not sorry.
Hey.
Listen, I get it, but it's war. You attacked us first. We ended the war. People complain about the atomic bomb, and I understand why, because it's one of these seminal moments in history where something that had never happened before and destruction on that scale from that kind of a device had never been seen before. But when you look at the firebombing, it was far more destructive, and I believe more people died during the firebombing than did during the atomic. I could be a little bit off there.
No, many more died during the nuclear firebombing.
Okay, I think so. Yeah. Basically, you found a city full of paper houses and said, well, here's a match. Right. And in the literal, if you've seen any of those pictures, the stories, it's just horrific.
Yeah.
And look, I get it. That's war. You don't fight wars to prolong them. You do it as quickly and swiftly as possible. And we understood very, very clearly that it was going to cost a lot of lives, both on their side and our side, if we were going to do a land invasion of the mainland.
Right. And I don't know if you've read the book Hiroshima, which just details like firsthand accounts of that morning. You know who else understood
Wolverine, because he was there.
Well, he was.
Movies, yeah.
But the Japanese in Hiroshima, like they were asked about it, and the general consensus after the bombing was, it is what it is. It wasn't.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
They understood what was going on.
They said we kind of deserved it. That's weird.
It was war. They understood. They were in a total war effort. They understood. Yeah. And where the fire bombings killed more people, those were a series of campaigns over and over. But 1 second.
Terrifying.
1 second dropping a bomb into a valley, essentially.
Right,
that is a bowl for this, nuclear implosion to take place.
For the sun?
Basically, yes.
The heat of the sun.
Yeah.
By the way, we hope we don't open a black hole up and destroy the entire Earth, but we'll see.
And the real other thing I want to add about Oppenheimer that's really interesting is many of the scientists that he was working with and dabbling with, they were like communists, and he was watched very, very closely as a communist for most of his time developing the bomb. But
rightfully so, you commies.
Yeah. Where other scientists in his community were like, this should never be used ever. He was the one that understood and even encouraged the use of the bomb because he knew, based on that quote, he knew what it would take to never use it again.
It mean using it.
Yes.
Right. Not once, obviously we used it twice, but using it in one kind of situation. Imagine if Russia had developed the bomb first.
Yeah.
Do you think they would have been as tactful? Imagine if 5 years before the end of the war, 3 years before the end, or 2 years before the end of the war, that Hitler had developed the bomb.
Right.
Like the bomb in the wrong hands with nobody else to be the power check is the truly terrifying scenario. Having some check in the system is great. Now, look, I know that puts us in the position of saying we're better to do it than anybody else. And to that, I would say, damn straight.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. Look at what we've done. All right. We used it. Haven't used it yet. We have plenty of instances where we kind of wanted to.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.